The meaning of nirvana in the Path of Enlightenment introduction. In the vast spiritual heritage of Buddhism, few concepts carry as much depth and importance as nirvana. It is the ultimate goal of the Buddhist path, the state toward which all the teachings, practices, and disciplines converge, often translated as extinction, liberation, or the cessation of suffering. Nirvana transcends simple definitions. It is not merely a metaphysical idea, but the living realization of freedom from ignorance, craving, and the endless cycle of birth and death known as samsara. To understand nirvana is to grasp the very essence of what it means to walk the Buddhist path. This essay explores the meaning of nirvana, its philosophical dimensions, its place in the process of enlightenment, and its relevance for practitioners. Potama defining nirvana. Beyond words, the word nirvana comes from the Sanskrit root nir, out or away, and v, to blow. Literally, it means to blow out or to extinguish, like a flame that has gone out. However, what is extinguished is not life or existence itself, but the fires of greed, labha, hatred, dosa, and delusion, moha, the three poisons that bind beings to suffering. In the early Buddhist scriptures, nirvana is described as the unconditioned asakata, that which is beyond all conditioned phenomena. Unlike the ever-changing, impermanent world, nirvana is timeless, beyond birth and death, and free from decay. It is not a place one goes to, but rather a state of being, an awakening to the true nature of reality. The Buddha often refused to give overly metaphysical descriptions of nirvana. Instead, he pointed to it through negation, what it is not. It is not suffering, not ignorance, not attachment. He compared it to the cooling of a fever, the quenching of thirst, or the rest of a traveler who has reached the end of a difficult journey. These metaphors suggest peace, relief, and profound freedom, too. Nirvana in the context of the Four Noble Truths. The significance of nirvana becomes clearer when understood in relation to the Four Noble Truths, the foundational framework of the Buddha's teaching. The first truth reveals the reality of dukkha, suffering or unsatisfactoriness. The second truth identifies craving, tanha, and ignorance as the cause of suffering. The third truth proclaims the cessation of suffering, nirada, which is nirvana. The fourth truth outlines the Eightfold Path as the way leading to nirvana. Thus, nirvana is not an abstract doctrine, but the direct answer to the existential problem of human suffering. It represents the third noble truth in lived reality, the possibility that suffering can end. For this reason, every teaching in Buddhism, whether meditation, ethical conduct, or wisdom, serves as a stepping stone toward nirvana. 3. The psychological dimension of nirvana. To modern practitioners, one of the most accessible ways of understanding nirvana is through its psychological implications. At its core, nirvana is freedom from the compulsive patterns of craving and aversion. In ordinary life, we are constantly pulled by desire for what we like and aversion for what we dislike, leading to restlessness and dissatisfaction. These habits are so deeply ingrained that we rarely see them for what they are. Nirvana is the moment when these chains break. It is the realization that one's well-being is not dependent on external conditions. In this freedom, the mind is no longer enslaved by the push and pull of desire and fear. Instead, it abides in equanimity, compassion, and clarity. This is why the Buddha described nirvana as the highest happiness, not the happiness of indulgence, but the happiness of liberation. 4. Nirvana and the cessation of samsara from a cosmological perspective. Nirvana is the end of samsara, the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Samsara is fueled by karmad, the intentional actions of body, speech, and mind rooted in ignorance and craving. As long as these forces remain, beings are reborn into conditions that inevitably involve suffering. The achievement of nirvana is the cutting of this cycle. When ignorance and craving are extinguished, the causes of future rebirth disappear. This is why nirvana is sometimes equated with immortality, not in the sense of eternal existence, but in the sense of transcending the cycle of death altogether. The arahant enlightened being who has realized nirvana lives out the remainder of their life with peace and compassion, and upon death is no longer subject to rebirth. 5. Nirvana in Theravada and Mahayana perspectives. While all Buddhist traditions regard nirvana as the ultimate goal, their interpretations emphasize different aspects. Theravada Buddhism views nirvana primarily as the cessation of suffering and the ending of rebirth. It emphasizes personal liberation and the realization of the arahant ideal. Mahayana Buddhism, while accepting this, also emphasizes the concept of bodhisattva, the being who vows to attain enlightenment not just for oneself, but for all beings. In this view, nirvana and samsara are seen as not two separate realities, but different ways of perceiving the same reality. The enlightened one realizes that samsara itself, when seen through wisdom, is empty and thus not separate from nirvana. This Mahayana vision broadens the meaning of nirvana from personal liberation to universal compassion and wisdom. 6. Nirvana and daily practice. For many, nirvana may seem like a distant or even unattainable goal. Yet the Buddhist path emphasizes that nirvana is not only a final destination but also something glimpsed and cultivated in daily life. Each moment of mindfulness, each act of compassion, each step taken with awareness is already a taste of nirvana. Meditation practices, especially mindfulness and insight meditation, allow practitioners to see impermanence, suffering, and non-self directly. With each realization, the grip of craving and ignorance loosens. Similarly, ethical living and acts of generosity create conditions of peace and harmony which reflect the qualities of nirvana. In this way, nirvana is not postponed to some future life, but is gradually unfolded in the present. 7. Misunderstandings about nirvana. Common misunderstanding is to think of nirvana as annihilation, a kind of nothingness or extinction of the self. This arises from interpreting extinguishing too literally. The Buddha rejected both eternalism, the belief in an eternal, unchanging self, and nihilism, the belief that nothing exists after death. Nirvana transcends both views. It is not the destruction of existence, but the liberation from delusion about existence. Another misconception is to equate nirvana with a heavenly reward or a blissful realm. Unlike heavens in many religions, nirvana is not a place within self, but the complete transcendence of it. It is beyond time, space, and conceptual categories. 8. The relevance of nirvana today in modern society. Many people suffer from anxiety, stress, and dissatisfaction despite material abundance. The teachings on nirvana offer a radical alternative. True happiness does not depend on possessions, status, or external conditions, but on the inner freedom of the mind. By letting go of clinging and learning to live mindfully, one can experience a taste of nirvana here and now. Nirvana also inspires a vision of peace for the world. A person who has realized nirvana acts with compassion, wisdom, and non-attachment. Such qualities are essential in addressing the conflicts, inequalities, and ecological crises of our time. Conclusion. Nirvana, the ultimate goal of the Buddhist path is a profound liberation from suffering, ignorance, and rebirth. Though described as extinction, it is not annihilation but the extinguishing of the fires that cause suffering. Rooted in the Four Noble Truths, it represents the end of samsara and the flowering of wisdom and compassion. While it may seem distant, nirvana is also experienced in glimpses through mindful living, ethical conduct, and meditation, for both ancient practitioners and modern seekers. Nirvana stands as a timeless reminder that freedom and peace are possible. It is not a distant heaven, but the living realization of truth, a state of being that transcends suffering and embodies the deepest meaning of enlightenment.